I'm starting to feel like Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson really get Batman. I think they really understand why the character is so popular. And they not only are paying homage to his comic book roots, so many panels lovingly recreated. Well, I wouldn't say recreated, but so many shots in this trailer remind me so much of the Batman comic book aesthetic. I mean, that's really cool. I mean, this Batman Catwoman rooftop silhouette shot, I mean, anyone who is a fan of Batman comics is instantly drawn to that. It feels authentic. But there is something here that I've never seen in a Batman movie before, and that is an understanding of the appeal of Batman. And that's why some of you I laughed really hard in the trailer reaction when Penguin thought he had bested, I can't believe Colin Farrell's character's name is Oswald Cobblepot. He does not look like an Oswald Cobblepot. But anyway, when he thinks he's bested Batman and he got him, and then Batman does the impossible and basically, because I'm Batman, to borrow from the How It Should Have Ended videos, comes to the fireball fiercer than ever. And the look on Penguin's face is just delicious. And, it's because Batman, I think, represents, not just vengeance as what they're, that being the catchphrase here is so appropriate because it really is the root of the character. Not just vengeance for his parents, but, vengeance for everyone. It's the idea that someone would think they could get the upper hand on you, and the fact is that Batman not only has the upper hand, but has had it all along. That is, again, because I'm Batman is a joke to some because they think it's just an excuse. I mean, many have said Batman is the ultimate Gary Stu, but that's why he's so popular, that he always comes out on top. And this is a revenge thriller. And it reminds me also, it's very raw. It has a raw quality to it, not only because Batman is so fresh. This is a new Batman, baby Batman. But, the way that the film is being made. And it reminds me a little of Dirty Harry. Do You Feel Lucky Punk? And of course, that was the revenge, thrillers of the 70s, right? And I have to say, with his slender build, Clint Eastwood is a very good comp for Robert Pattinson. Comparison. And I think that is a very clever way to go. And kudos, again, to not just Matt Reeves for getting Batman, but for Robert Pattinson for getting Batman. Other actors have thought it would be cool to be Batman, but Robert Pattinson understands Batman. He's been a Batman fan long before he was ever cast as the character, and that is making quite the difference. All right, let's just dive into this. There's so much to go over. I'm a huge Batman fan. Batman and X-Men are the comic characters that got me into adult comics. I will always love them. I feel I relate to both of them in many ways. It's just a very deep connection, and I think many of us have that, and that's why they're just so well created characters. Some people relate to Superman and Spider-Man, and I don't get those people. I'm a Batman. I sit in my cave. I love Batman so much. All right, let's go. All right, so I love this first shot. This reminds me, of course, of the famous painting Nighthawks by Edward Hopper, but of course, the Gotham version. And, it's a rainy night. Gotham is abandoned, gripped in fear, not just from Batman. Citizens are afraid of the Riddler. Criminals are afraid of Batman. Yeah, that's pretty good. But here, the Riddler sits alone in this cafe, and I think the blue lights are just so well done, and the red in the sign, and then they're mimicked in the flashing police lights in the window. It's beautiful. All right. So I thought this diner was going to be robbed, but these are actually the police sneaking up. They're like, don't let him ask you a question. And I know some stuff about the script, so it's interesting that they would show this scene here in the trailer. And so they're arresting him. The Riddler likes it spicy. I think that, Gotham's a cool place. They've got mayonnaise and sriracha on the counter. What kind of diner is that? And I love that Gordon's front and center. Jeffrey Wright is just perfect Jim Gordon casting. If you're going to race bend or gender bend a character, you better cast the right actor to make it successful. And Jeffrey Wright, he just is Jim Gordon. It's incredible. I think it's such a great casting choice. So they're like, you think you got enough guns trained on him? How many guns does it take to get the Riddler? Don't ask him. So we have this great diner cup. I have plates like that. When eventually I stream the movie, I shall use them. And of course, it's got the question mark in the coffee. And some of you said, go get the barista. That's who the Riddler is. But maybe, hey, maybe Riddler's doing his own coffee art. He's very talented. I think that's great. Maybe he has a request. I don't know. But it's really fun. And I like that it looks real. And it's just right out of a comic. This is the kind of thing that would be on the cover of a comic. It's just really, really captivating. All right. And it's got green. I guess technically that's the Riddler's colors. And so here's the bat signal. And he's talking about the bat signal. And look at it. It looks like it was even made out of anger. Just smashing the pieces on the light. And then he sticks a symbol in and he's like, F you. Turn this on occasionally. Thank you very much. So he's talking about it. And he's saying, this isn't just a symbol, it's fear, it's a warning. But, that plays in, of course, some of you I've seen some people on social media being like, oh, that's cool, that's new element. It's not new, it's from the beginnings of the character. Criminals are a cowardly and superstitious lot. That's one of the reasons, of course, that Bruce Wayne decided to dress up as a bat. Frank Miller added that he felt he got a sign from his father. And then Batman Earth 1, unfortunately written by Jeff Johns, but we have to give credit where credit is due. That's a phenomenal take on the character. That's also because Martha was an Arkham, Martha Arkham, before she married into the Wayne family. And so, Batman's got one foot in the rogues gallery himself, because who else would decide to dress up as a bat to take down criminals? He's a little bit as crazy, takes crazy to catch crazy. And I think that's a great take on the character. I'll be curious to see how mainstream audiences embrace that, but I think it makes perfect sense. So he's like, it's a warning. There he's looking at it. He's like, I did that. I love it. It's so great. I'm famous. It's like, oh, that's a good idea. So, this reminds me of Joker a little bit. It's weird. I'm a little frustrated that these movies are all separated because, part of the fun of these universes is seeing these paths all eventually intertwine and in some cases collide. Like, what is this versions of Batman's Superman? What's his Aquaman? What's his Wonder Woman? I want to see all that, and I can't because they're in different multiverses. Because this, and again, Joker, different time period. So it's very frustrating. But anyway, this looks like a Joker-esque gang. That poor woman on the subway. She's like, don't look up. So, of course, this is the sequence we saw before. And there is Jay Licurgo, who's playing Tim Drake on Titans right now and doing a bang-up job. The quality of Titans has gone off a cliff, in my opinion. It started very strong this season, but I feel at this point it's almost unwatchable. I'm curious how some of you feel. Renewed for season 4. I heard that a few weeks ago, almost a month ago at this point, but that was announced today. Doom Patrol as well. So he's rising and he's like, excellent. How many of you? More. He's like, more. I have to say, there's a Kylo Ren quality to this Batman as well. People like it. So a lot of silhouette fighting. He's like, wait, let me find the light. Stand over here, guys. And look, it reminds me a little bit of the warehouse scene from Batman v Superman. But now instead of just one, Matt Reeves is smart enough to give us a bunch of them. So look. So he's like going to take them all on. It's a little very Fincher. I've said before that I feel there's strong 7 influences. So he's like, yeah. And thankfully they're not all taking him on at once. Someone point blank shoots him in the freaking chest. Why does nobody shoot him in the chin? He's clearly not armored right there. And I think it's a pretty big target, but he's lucky that everyone just goes for the body. And clearly, I think he likes it. That's what's fascinating to me. He's like, he loves the pain. He's like, yeah, this is why I came out tonight. Do it again. And he's like, and then he shocks that guy, and he's just going to, as I said, beat the shit out of these people. He's like, I had a wonderful evening. All right, let's see. So I wonder who this is. This could be Riddler. This could be Joker. There, I'm just saying. That's all I'm going to say about it. And I don't know. I think it takes a really, it's a gutsy move to do another interrogation scene after the very famous one in The Dark Knight. But here there's a glass partition. I'm not sure what Robert Pattinson says here. He's very angry. I don't know. I think you maybe wouldn't be able to. This guy, he's so angry, it's distracting how angry it is. I don't know if you would know this was Bruce Wayne. You're like, how would you describe the Batman? He was super pissed off. Like, wow. Like, I did not want to deal with that. So look, the dialogue here is that Gotham's a powder keg. Look, it's exploding. I think there's another shot when Batman's actually falling through that explosion later in this very trailer. It's gorgeous. I love the L line over there. Gotham. So captivating. I love it. And there he is at the funeral. So Robert Pattinson in the interview for this before they debuted the trailer at DC FanDome said what he likes about this Bruce Wayne is that he hasn't created his Bruce Wayne persona yet. So hold on. Oh, by the way, first off, Selina Kyle has created her Selina Kyle persona. She is on fire. I mean, Zoe Kravitz, she has been looking for the right role for a very long time. And she's finally found it. She's killing it here. Her Selina Kyle is an homage to the year one version of the character. I love the short haircut, right off the page. But also, Eartha Kitt. I think it's wonderful to give that recognition. So cat-like. Look at that shot. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's right out of the comic. It's so great. That's date night right there. They are the same, and that's supposed to be intentional. Look at that high kick, too. I wonder if this is like a training sequence or if she's taking someone on. Look at the depth of field on that shot. It's so beautiful. She looks great there, too. I wonder if that's a wig or for some reason she cuts her hair. She seems to have a great wig collection. Who doesn't love a good wig collection? Oh, I love wigs. I used to have a very big collection myself, but I lost it, unfortunately, to mold. Some of you know. So anyway, there she is. She has her own motorcycle. So here's Penguin, looking not at all like an Oswald. It's like, is that name ironic? So there's Alfred. So Alfred, look, you see he has a scar. I think this is also a take on the Batman Earth 1 storyline, because there Alfred has a military past, and that's one of the reasons he's so good at doing triage, to take care of Batman's wounds the best he can, help him with strategy. Although he seems to be a big complainer. I'd be like, are you going to yap like this every night, Alfred? I mean, for Pete's sake, I think it's pretty clear I'm doing this. Either you're with this team or you should go look for employment elsewhere. I do like the vest. That's a little similar to the, it's a little bit more of a tighter, more prim, but a little bit of a police look too, British police. Now look at that. This is fantastic. When Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne finally creates that Bruce Wayne persona, I hope we get to see it on screen, because I think it's going to be hilarious. I can imagine it's going to be a little bit like his Tenet persona, but this is clearly Bruce Wayne uncut. And I love it. So captivating, so likable. Where did he find those sunglasses? Wow, Selina's like, we are a match. Now this is actually Bruce Wayne, because he's going to be doing detective work here. And I think what's very important here, the most of all, is the sins of my father. His parents, he's looking to his parents very much so. I'm not going to give too much away, but during the course of this film, he's very much looking to his parents to define him, and what he knows about them and what he thinks he knows about them. So Martha Wayne, her heritage being an Arkham, or at least having a mental illness background, and then the sins of my father, something that he feels that his father did. So that's all factoring in there. So it helps him think. And I love this line too. This is crucial. He says, I don't care what happens to me. That's right. Batman has a death wish. It's one of the reasons he's so effective. He will fight 12 guys because he doesn't care if he doesn't make it out. He has no fear. I guess that's interesting too. That's fascinating. I love it. He's like, I don't care what happens to me. To the point that I'm not even going to he's like, I'm not taking a shower. I'm not going to go to sleep. I'd be like, you should care about what happens to you. I don't know, maybe tomorrow. The long run. I love the way he looks up there. That's great. That's just so great. Don't talk about this not caring what happens to you stuff in front of Selina. I think it's going to make you seem like not good dateable material, Bruce. Keep that to yourself until, I don't know, later on in the relationship. So I love this. The lighting is done so well here. It's the same cinematographer as Dune. This guy is, he is going to become a star very quickly. And he pretty much is already. Greg Fraser. He also did Rogue One. Dune is incredible to look at, and this is fantastic. I mean, wow, what a great idea of the way this. And I love, look at me, he's hitting him with his own baseball bat. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. And even Penguin's like, whoa, calm down, buddy. And he's like, you're everything they say, ain't ya? He's like, yeah, look, I just kicked that guy for no reason at all. And again, the lights are just so great. It's great. You know, he really plays into sometimes the way people also make fun of Batman, but in owning it and being cool. I think it's great. I think Robert Pattinson would laugh at these jokes, and that's why his performance is so effective. So here, look at that. Look at her claws poking through her gloves. That is just so perfect. They're her nails. She has amazing nails. So there she is. She just looks great. And so then, again, another wig collection. That's a gorgeous shot, too. His ear is almost disappearing into the sun. He's like, Gotham, beautiful city. It looks great. And I love that. She's like, who are you under there? And I believe it's hard to tell, unlike with other Batmen, where I'm like, it's clearly that person. But that's great. Look at her hand there with the nails. They look just like elegant, but also vicious. And they would really, really hurt. And that's the way they're supposed to look. I can't wait to see them splattered with blood. Look at her jump off the roof there. I love the black leather look on Catwoman. I hope she eventually gets the full Darwin Cook look that no one has done yet. This is very close, though. So look at that. There he is falling through the explosion. Oh, again, great use of light. Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. He is a sparkly Batman! But it's cool. All right, that's, of course, a Twilight reference. Now look at this. Now, again, these people are stupidly just shooting his chest. You know, his people do say in training to shoot for the core because it's the biggest target, but I'd be like, everybody else shot for the core and it didn't work, for Pete's sake. Try a different target point. But I love the way this, of course, lights up the hallway. You gotta have a good hallway fight. Some of you compared this to the Darth Vader hallway fight in Rogue One, same cinematographer. He's like, you know what worked out really well for us on that movie? And we're like, yes, let's do it. And I think this seems very much its own thing. And of course, that's what they have it here. And I love that he's just walking forward. He's like, again, I told you, he loves the pain. So he's like, this is the highlight of my evening. And I love that he's wrestling with them. I love that shot right there, when they're struggling with the gun. That's great. Bullets can bounce off stuff, though, right? But again, he doesn't care what happens to him, and I certainly don't think he cares what happens to anybody else in there. Some of you said you think that it looks like this Batman might kill as well, and that was a real problem for a number of you. Hurdle you couldn't get over with Zack's Batman. And so, I'm curious to see how people react to it here. Will it continue to be a hurdle? I mean, I think it's a realistic, unfortunate take on the character. Oh, look, blue light. I love the way that looks. He's like, I didn't even finish this car out. It's like, again, so raw, like his anger. He's just a nerve. He's like a taut nerve. He's like, let's go. The car looks awesome. And, it's hard to beat Nolan's car, the tumbler, and the bat pod that popped out of it. I'll never forget when I saw that for the first time. But this car, I think, has a cool, again, it's the first one. It's the first Batmobile. Look how angry he is. It's so angry. He's such an angry Batman. He's going to chip a tooth or give himself horrible migraines. You can't grit your teeth like that. So look, there he is. He's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump. But look, don't worry, I'm wearing a glider. He looks funny there. Looks very puffy. So he jumps down, and I love the POV shot. Isn't that great? I wonder if he's like, maybe I shouldn't have done this. It looks super scary. And he almost hits that window. Woo! That's a close one. So we've seen this before. This is the night. Look, he's had a rough night. He's like, I got what I wanted. So live stream, serial killer live stream, which is very sadly something that happens in real life these days. So good way. I mean, it feels like a modern Gotham City, but it still feels very true to the criminals. So there he's wailing on a guy. And some of you felt like Catwoman was looking in horror. I don't think she is. I mean, maybe she is. We'll see. She might be like, whoo, good job, you got him. Although Jeffrey Wright's Gordon is definitely appalled. He's like, whoa, do I intervene or do I just let it take care of itself? So classic from the comics, the scarred back. And he's only just getting started. This is baby Batman's back. And you can see a lot of those wounds look actually quite fresh. Alfred ain't one for cosmetic surgery, unfortunately. Maybe he does that intentionally. But he's never going to see his back. I guess he feels no one's going to see the back. It's his back. All right, so I wonder who's in this prison. So there, I wonder what's going on here too. He's leading people. Oh, I think maybe I kind of know what this is. All right, so this thing takes a crazy turn in the third act. So I like this. That's a gorgeous shot though with the flare. Oh yeah. I think they're walking in water, it looks like. All right, see you in hell. We're already there. All right, dialogue writes itself. So yeah, so he's like, what's black and blue, bruised all over and dead? It's you. And look, there's like a tear in Batman's eye. Can Batman cry? I'm conflicted on that. I don't know, I think Robert Pattinson's Batman can cry. Do that in front of Catwoman. That might help him. Alfred's like, save it for your date. She looks great. He's like, my God. How much TV are you going to watch today? All right. So this is great. Yeah, so angry. So I love this. Colin Farrell's doing a great job. And he's like, I got him. I got you, buddy. And then in the rearview mirror, objects may seem closer than they appear. He comes right flying out of there. And I love the cape going out the window. I mean, that could catch on something. I hope it's easily detachable. I'm sure it is. Batman thinks ahead. But it's a very cool effect. Like, it's so cool. And so he knocks him over, and that creates this great shot of a bat hanging upside down, which is very clever, but I just love the way his cape moves in the wind. I mean, that's some great cape action. I mean, that's just incredible. And he's taking his time. He's it's like a little like Michael Myers. You know, Batman is an unstoppable force of nature. Is he a man? He is, but he's an extremely well-prepared man. And so he's like, he does seem very real. I like the utilitarianness of, like, you can see it's not just his utility belt. He's got a utility thigh strap there, apparently. He's like, I got a lot of stuff. We're going to have a good time. And there is the Batman. Look, it's like hand-drawn. Really angrily. I don't have time for fine lines. He's like an impressionist painter. Many who were also upset and crazy. So I think it looks phenomenal. I think it's tapping into the thing that makes DC movies do really well. Although on the rare occasion, the happier ones like Aquaman and the first Wonder Woman did very well. But for the most part with Batman, the Batman movies, and Joker, people like angry DC. They like dark DC. And this is plenty dark. I love it! So what did you think? Thanks for going over this with me. Share your thoughts down below. Subscribe today. And of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.